Well, hi there, everybody, and welcome back for a little bit more NHLPA Hockey 93 action. So we're still going to be here. Let me go ahead and put this audio on. There we go. We're still going to be here on the Super Nintendos. We try to continue this series. I'm just going to load the state. This is where we were before because I don't feel like putting in the passcode. And we lost to the Hartford Whalers last time, which was, yeah, not so great. So let's see if we have a little bit better luck here. In theory, on paper, we're supposed to be better, so we'll see if it translates to anything in real life. The more that I play games like this, of course, in theory at least, the better I become at them. There we go. Give me the puck. Somebody was saying, too, that this game goes a little bit nuts with the penalties. Well, so much for playing better defense, huh? All right, so we're down 1-0 early, and that means that we can go ahead and relax a little bit and talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. So, yeah, still trying to figure out sort of the best defensive approach with this team. I'm sure that there's probably something I'm doing wrong, and when you see that, you can always tell me, and I'll do my best to try to fix it. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. So, we're bracing over here for the extreme cold in the United States, and I tell you, it feels kind of like a Canadian invasion. I was reading in the newspaper this morning where they were talking about this being because of a cold wind that's coming from eastern Canada, I think it is, or cold wind, cold storm front. And so, you know, with all of this talk about, like, you know, the United States is going to take over, like, this country and that European land and all this other stuff, it seems like the Canadian invasion is coming our way. A little bit of 1812, or the revenge, I guess, the second coming of 1812 for us. So, anyway, so it is. I was trying to read a few tips on how to play this game, and apparently I didn't do a very good job at reading them. That was pretty bad. All right. And I didn't want icing, but I think that's what we're going to get. All right. I will say, I've said this a little bit before, the Super Nintendo version of this game is a little bit... the frame rate's not quite as good as it is on the Genesis. You can tell the difference as soon as you start playing. It's a pretty noticeable difference. All right, yeah, try to force them off of that. It is a pretty noticeable difference right from the start. Well, that's it for the first period. Boy, it's pretty fast, isn't it, when you have it on 5-minute mode? I do want to take a look here and see if we can get it to show us some highlights from some of these other games, which is something that I know that... So if you play like the old Madden games, that happens automatically. Like usually, I think it was Madden 93 where he goes like straight into highlights, you know, right when you get to this point. I don't know, though, if we have to wait a little bit longer or anything like that. Somebody was saying that you have to have a game that's tied or that's like really, really close. So I don't know. We'll see exactly what it tells us, because there are a couple of games that are close. And here we go. Highlight from game. Here we go. From St. Louis at Chicago. Let's see what happens here. So I guess that those highlights are then supposed to be like in real time or something like that. I guess that's sort of the theory behind it. Anyway, we'll go ahead and resume so we're not sitting around waiting the whole time. It's a pretty interesting system, though. There it is. Alright, here we go. No, still can't get out of the zone. There we go. Now we got something going on. That's a nice save, actually. Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's the problem. Overuse of the C button. Or, I say the C button, this is the Super Nintendo controller, so it's actually technically the A button. Now, the control scheme actually in this game, the more I've played it, the more I can see that it really is kind of a natural type of a control scheme for a Super Nintendo controller. It's actually pretty well done. It's not quite as natural feeling, though, as the Sega Genesis. I think that one of the reasons why the Genesis wound up with so many well-known and well-loved sports games is just because of the controller. Yeah, they're gonna give me for interference after that. Yeah, not so good. It's alright though, we probably should have had a line change in the middle of all that anyway. Now my question for you guys is there a way that this game like shows you, you know, like the state of your line, you know, how tired your guys are and stuff like that? Is there a way I can like just see and know? We have a chance. I got a little bit too close there. Yeah, we'll change this other penalty killing line and see what we can do. There you go, a little poke check. It's really, really cool how the how this game's able to simulate stuff like that, by the way. I mean, I don't know what the best way is to sort of explain it, but like the way that this game handles stuff like poke checks and stuff, it just feels really, really, it feels really natural to do, right? You get your guy sort of into the right position, and it feels like, you know, if you push A, that, you know, you're going to be able to do something to sort of hook your stick in there, and it works really, really well. All right, let's see if we get any more highlights from any of these other games. Or maybe not. Here we go. Pittsburgh at Washington 7-6. Wow, this is a classic. And there you go. Oh, we have another one coming up. All right, let's check this one out. That wasn't quite as interesting. Real simple highlight, but yeah, that's cool stuff. It's really cool how they designed this game, and sort of the thought and the effort and all the time that was put into it, I think, is really, really apparent. Oh shoot, if I'd known that, I would have gone the other side. The other thing I want to say is that the music here on the Super Nintendo version is actually pretty good, all things considered. Especially compared to some of the other Super Nintendo EA Sports games that I've played. Get back. Uh-oh. There we go. So, for example, I guess it's not an EA game, but over on my basketball channel, I was playing some like NBA Hang Time on the Super Nintendo. There's music, but there's like no other sound with that game at all. Oh, an own goal. How about that? Wow. That was definitely not what I was expecting there. So we got him to knock it into his own net, and this is a brand new game. That's the first goal that we've scored in this little project. A little bit dangerous to come out there. Alright. Go ahead and dump it on in, and I've got no one to pass it to. Yeah, like I said, I think it was saying this last time we played this game. The way the line changes work in this game is just absolutely brilliant. It's really, really a well-designed system. It's real natural. The flow is great. It's actually easier than you know, the APA hockey text-based game that I played last night for the like dozen of you or whatever that actually watched that. That game's all right, but the line change system in that game is kind of awkward because like everybody, it's like your line just like magically changes once you push it, right? I mean, there is the option to, you know, dump it in and change, you know, and stuff, but oh, that was fast. But while there is the option to sort of dump it in and change, you know, on the fly, usually your line changes are going to coincide with like actual like stops in the action and stuff like that. So, and when you dump it in, like it's like all 5 of your guys change like magically, right? And I think that in that game there is a chance you can be caught sort of like, you know, in the wrong place or whatever in the middle of a change, but it's still different. It's not quite that well. I don't know. It's not quite that well designed in that case. That was a real mistake on my part. Well, aside from these interference penalties, we've actually done pretty well this time around, not getting too many penalties. This is a lot different than last time. I'm trying to control the guy I'm not actually in control of. Spending too much time looking at the guy and being like, go over there, go over there. Oh, wait, no wonder I can't control you. I'm not actually in control of you. Oh. There we go. Guess I held on to that a little bit too long. All right, so we're back to full strength. That's a little bit better, and we haven't lost yet, which is good. All right. All right, well, as soon as I say that we're doing better in terms of penalties, then the penalties start coming for us. We had 3 penalties on that? That's a little bit excessive, don't you think? So we had like, you know, almost no penalties, you know, in this game in general, and then we turn around and get 3 penalties called at once. I guess I wasn't playing that well after all. But no worries, just go to more overtime. There we go. Just waste that time away. The other thing that I like about this game is that it's really natural the way that it has you switch from one player to the next. Like, you know, when your defenseman gets the puck or something like that, right? It feels right when it comes to how players switch. With some of the other games, especially some of the NES hockey games, it can feel a little bit abrupt or awkward. You're like, oh, all of a sudden this guy's got the puck. But for this one, it's not quite that bad. It feels more like, you know, like it's supposed to feel, I guess I will say. Oh. All right, here we go. Get it, get it, get it. Oh, I guess we can thank Patrick Waugh, right, for being a good goalie and for not letting anything in, because we have managed to get through this despite me barely knowing what I'm doing. We've managed to get through this relatively unscathed. And no extra penalties either. That's the important part. So we go to triple overtime. Again, I really would like to see sort of what the state of the lines are, but you have to figure they'd be getting tired at some point in time. Yeah, see, we're at like basically full strength. There we go. Well, we haven't scored any goals from it yet, but whoever was telling me to, you know, bring the puck up to the mouth of the goal and then basically go left to right is right. It seems to work pretty well. I intended to do that. That was intentional. All right, go back and get him. There we go. I don't know if it's possible in this game. I know that in NHL 94 you can like break the glass with the puck and stuff like that. Maybe we'll find out here if this keeps going. All right, so now we have the puck again. Let's see what we can do. Oh, there we go, and there's the game winner. Game over. There you go. Game-winning goal. Triple overtime. This is an all-time classic here for the channel. And yeah, so that makes this a 1-to-1 series. And we'll have a little bit more of this, not tomorrow, but probably the day after. So there you have it. Yeah, that was exciting. I think I'm slowly starting to figure out what I'm actually doing in this game, which is the most important part. So hopefully you enjoyed that. We'll get a little bit better at this the more that I become comfortable with the controls and all that stuff, and have a little bit more for you later on. Talk to you later.